I just watched Fatal Attraction. It's basically another love triangle. Dan has a beautiful wife. Her name is Beth. Beth goes away to her parents' house for the weekend in the country. They have money. He's a lawyer. And at this work event, he meets what will soon be his demise. Her name is Alex. Alex is obsessed with Dan. They have lunch. She lights a cigarette in the restaurant and she does this. Can you be discreet? So anyway, they smash for 2 days. Obviously, it means something to her. Then when he tries to leave, he tells her, I'm married, you know I'm married, this is just fun. And then she tries to herself and he has to like help her. And then she tries to call him and call him and call him. He eventually changes his phone number. She calls him and says, we need to get together now. And then he said, what do you want? She said, I'm pregnant. And he said, okay, well, like, don't worry, I'll pay for the procedure and everything. What procedure? I'm not having a procedure, I'm keeping it. And he said, I'm married. She said, I don't care, but I'm having this baby. So then she starts being crazier and crazier, calling him, leaving him messages. They are about to move. They list this house. Alex somehow gets hold of the wife, Beth, and they're both sitting there keying because the wife, Beth, thinks this woman is just interested in the house that they just put on the market. Then Dan comes home and his mistress is on the couch with his wife and he's going, Jesus Christ, how do I get out of this? She calls him and calls him and calls him and says, you need to take responsibility for what you did and the weekend we had, or I'm gonna tell your wife. And he says, if you tell my wife, I'm gonna handle you. What happens is they move, they're in this beautiful house. Dan gets his child, Alan, a pet rabbit. Alex is still losing her mind about not being able to keep this married guy. So what does she do when they're not in the house? She takes the rabbit and she puts it in a big pot and Beth comes home and says, why the blood clot is there the rabbit in this pot? And so he comes clean and says, listen, I need to tell you something. Remember that woman that you met? And she said, yeah, the lady from your work that was on in our living room. And he said, yeah. And then she said, what, you had an affair with her? And he said, yeah. And then she said, are you kidding me? And he said, no. And then he said, there's more. And she said, what? And he said, she's pregnant. And she said, get the out of my face. You got her pregnant. Are you dumb? But at least he tells her. So now Alex has nothing to like hold over his head. So he said, listen, I told my wife about you. You can't hold anything against me, so leave us alone. I don't want to talk to you. And she starts going absolutely ape. So one day, Beth goes to pick up her kid at the daycare, and Alex has already shown up and picked up the little boy and taken him to American Wonderland, some amusement park. Beth is hectic and losing her mind and she's frantic and she gets into a car accident, and then Dan finds out about it. He goes and puts hands on Alex and says, stay the hell away from our family. She ends up coming to their house while Beth is trying to decompress from all the events, and she tries to her, and then Beth, Dan, and Alex get into a scuffle in the washroom and there's water everywhere. Wifey, Beth, uses the Ruger that was in the house and pops off a shot. That movie was crazy. Side note, I really like the 90s clothing on the wife, Beth. And there's another scene where she's wearing tights and leggings and a really nice brown leather jacket. It just goes to show some things never go out of style, okay? I also liked Dan, his outfits in the movie. He's a lawyer, so he's got lots of Oxford shirts, lots of blazers. Even though Alex's character was absolutely demented, I do like the big earrings that she would wear and the like, you know, when white girls used to get perms. So super, super cute. Watch the movie. It's insanity. Okay, have a good one. Hope you like this one. Bye.